Hey, 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 this is Pamela, and you are now at our season two, episode 5 of Stunt Shows and Shenanigans. This is the weekly show where we review news of the week and we figure out whether it's a stunt, it's a show, or a shenanigan. Y'all put that down in the comments. And y'all, please hit that like button. Also, subscribe. And once you subscribe, you'll be open to a plethora of videos where I do movie reviews and television review series reviews. And also, I have all my incidents of pop culture chats and my weekly show, Stunt Shows and Shenanigans. So let's get into this. We've got this week is kind of heavy, but and also my last story I have had people send me these articles and things like that, and it I am at a level of confusion, but I'm just going to read the stuff as it's come out and give you kind of a little background story as I know it to be, and we'll continue to go through this. So let's go to my first story, y'all. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, y'all. So we're gonna talk about Jordan Chiles. We've been talking about this for over a week now. The Olympics ended last Sunday, and so it's been a week past. It actually been a little bit more than a week when we found out that the CAS decided that uh, Jordan Childs was stripped of her bronze medal because they said that her team didn't get to the challenge table on time. They said that they were a minute and 4 seconds. They were 4 seconds over. The U.S. gymnastics team says no, 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 no. We were not. We've got video evidence to show that we hit the challenge table, is what I'm going to call it, because once they have the scores, they have to have a challenge of the scores within a minute. They say that they were there between 47 minutes, and they also did an extra challenge at 55 seconds, 47 seconds and 55 seconds. So they sent that information in, and the CAS decided, oh, well, once we make a decision, there's no way to appeal the decision that we made. Even if you came up with new evidence, it doesn't matter. So, in other words, they were wrong. It The Romanians were right to appeal it. They can appeal whatever they want to appeal. We don't want to say that they didn't do that, but the evidence shows that they were on time, because there had to be some evidence going on over there with them to look at to say that they were a minute. They were 4 seconds past a minute, so they had to have some video evidence to show that. That video evidence should have shown the whole table. That were they not monitoring that table? Because it was interesting to see that that evidence didn't come back out to after everything was over. And it's like, oh, well, we don't have any way for you to do that. It's just going to be what we decided. And they did do a ceremony for Anna Barbuso on Friday. Last Friday, they did a ceremony. So Jordan doesn't have to actually give the bronze back. However, on the Olympic website, as far as who were the gold medal and bronze winner, her name has been stricken off, and Anna's name has been placed there as the official bronze medal winner. So I am hoping that the USA gymnastics teams continue to, because that makes no sense that the uh you don't have a way to appeal a situation. Once they make a decision, that's it. That doesn't make any sense to me. And also, too, what didn't make any sense to me, and I think I talked about this last week on Stunt Shows and Shenanigans, they're talking about that they've done this. Romania has done this before, where they have challenged certain things, and then this girl has gotten her thing. Now, don't mishear me. I'm not jumping on the athlete, because all those athletes worked really, really hard, damn hard, to get to where they're going. But I'm just seeing a little pattern as thing. Because if she felt like she made a better score than Jordan, then that's one thing. However, the judges are the ones that I'm mad at, are pissed off at, because they know that they did not appropriately grade Jordan, and particularly on the difficulty that she performed at that stunt. But if you go back into the world of gymnastics, ever since Simone Biles has been in gymnastics, a lot of the other country gymnastics things are trying their hardest to get things that she's done banned, or trying to get the difficulty level, because they're saying, well, it shouldn't all be about jumps and stunts. It should be about elegance and artistry, as if she's not an elegant and artistic young lady. But let's get down here, because one of the things that I wanted to go over, I didn't want to go back over, I kind of went as much with that, but I did want to go down here and to read what Jordan, and let me make it a little bit bigger. All right, here we go. And so Jordan says, I am overwhelmed by the love I have received over the past few days. And I'm also incredibly grateful to my family, teammates, coaches, fans, United USA Gymnastics, and the USOPC for their unwavering support during this difficult time. While celebrating my Olympic accomplishments, I heard the devastating news that my bronze medal had been stripped away. I had confidence in the appeal brought by the USAG, who gave conclusive evidence that my score followed all the rules. This appeal was unsuccessful. I have no words. What is going on? Because it's on Instagram. Sorry, y'all. I have no words. The decision feels unjust and comes as a significant blow, not just to me, but to everyone who has championed my journey. To add to the heartbreak, the unprompted racially driven attacks on social media are wrong and extremely hurtful. I have poured my heart and soul into this sport, and I am so proud to represent my country, my culture, and my country. I will never waver from my values of competing with integrity, striving for excellence, upholding the values of sportsmanship, and the rules that dictate fairness. I have taken pride in cheering on everyone, regardless of team or country. Finding joy again has been a culture shift, and I love seeing others embrace it. I feel like I have given everyone permission to be authentic to who they are. I am now confronted with one of the most challenging moments of my career. Believe me when I say I've had many. I will approach this challenge as I have others, and I will make every effort to ensure that justice is done. I believe that at the end of this journey, the people in control will do the right things. And here we have Anna. She had a little ceremony on Friday where they did present her with the bronze medal. So what do y'all think about that? That's pretty much the conclusion of what's going on with this particular story. So Anna got her bronze. Jordan is at home with her folks chilling. And we're just gonna keep our thoughts and our well wishes with Jordan. And we again, I hope the U.S. gymnastics team is still appealing to the higher courts to get this young lady back her medal. I hope they just didn't leave it at that. I hope that someone is really fighting for that, because if everybody did everything that they were supposed to, then she should get those medals. Because here's the thing: if this is a pattern, it's not going to it's just started with Jordan, and it's going to continue. So let's get this started. So let me share my screen once again. We're going to move into our next story. Mm, mm. Now, I remember when this story came out, I followed it, but the court hearing and all of that went by so quickly. I don't know why I thought that this case was going to take a little bit longer. However, you see the title. It says jury convicts white Florida woman in shooting death of her black neighbor during an ongoing dispute. Now, if you're not familiar, excuse me, this is Susan Lawrence. Now, let me tell you about Miss Susan. Susan was neighbors to this young lady. Hold on, let me see. Ajaki AJ Jones. That's what they called Owens. Now AJ Owens had 4 children. Now Susan here, AJ and her were neighbors, and they had this a court. She had an issue. Susan had an issue with her children, and with her children playing in this grassy area around their home. She felt like they shouldn't play there, that she basically that was her area and the children shouldn't be playing in that area. And so they've always had a back and forth and back and forth. Now she has been known in their neighborhood to be just a little witchy, always complaining and all different things. This is how she has been. She's also been known to be bullying the children. She's done to the point where she has swatted at them, where she has taken their belongings, where she has raged and cussed them out, and all these other things, called the police on them. All kinds of things going on back and forth and back and forth. And all the people in her complex in their neighborhood have said that she's always been the issue. Well, her and AJ was issue was, leave my children alone. If you've got a problem, you come talk to me. You don't talk to my children. You don't take their things. You don't do any of these types of things. Well, this stuff continued to go on. So one day, during this day, the children are out there playing or doing what children do. She came out of her home. She fussed and cussed at the children. She ended up taking one of the kids' belongings, and I believe it was an iPad. So they go in and they tell their mom, "Hey, she's taking our stuff." So the mom goes over, knocks on the door, trying to get her to come out so she can give her back her children's stuff. Well, she doesn't come out. What she does is that she shoots shots through the door, a closed, locked door. And then she wants to say it will stand her ground because she felt like the knocking that this woman was doing, she was afraid for her life. Well, a jury did not believe her. So let's get into that's pretty much an overview of the story. So let's get into what the article is talking about. So this is by CBS News. Y'all know what I'm searching for. And I don't see who it was written by. So, but this is an article by CBS News. So let's get into this article. A white Florida woman was convicted Friday of manslaughter in the fatal shooting of a black neighbor amid an ongoing dispute about children playing loudly outside her home. An all white jury in Ocala, Florida found 60-year-old Susan Lawrence guilty after a 2.5 hour of deliberation. Lawrence faces up to 30 years in prison at sentencing. Lawrence claimed self-defense when she fired a single shot with a uh, 380 caliber handgun through her front door on June 2nd, 2023, killing 35-year-old AJ Jones. Lawrence told detectives in her videotaped interview, and if you want to see someone, if you really want to see a show where she thought that, and I'm sorry, she thought that her whiteness was going to get her thing. She started using the words, "I feared for my life." She was do this, but those detectives were not buying it. They were like, "Well, you were behind a locked door. You had to be." She was like, "Well, I was back in my kitchen, and I heard." Go listen and watch those things. It is eye opening as to how people will how. Mm. She says, "I panicked and thought, oh my God, she's really going to kill me this time." Now, why would you think that? That is because you thought she was going to kill you. No, she came there to get her children's stuff. You had her children's stuff. I wonder, did they get her for theft? But anyway, let's continue. Uh, Lawrence told Marion County Sheriff investigators, and so I don't even actually remember picking up the gun. I just remember shooting. All of this stuff. The confrontation came amid disputes between Lawrence and Owens over the latter's children playing in a grassy area near both of their houses. Lawrence says in the interview that she had been harassed for most of the 3 years she lived in the neighborhood. The victim's family members broke down in tears after Lawrence left the courtroom with deputies. She showed no reaction or emotion when the verdict was announced. Uh, Anthony Thomas, an attorney for the Owens family, said that they would push for the maximum 30-year prison term. And because, this woman, she killed that woman, and that woman's four children have no mom. They're living with their grandmother and all of these little different things. And so I just wanted to go over that story with you really, really quick, that she has been found guilty. She is going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. You going to jail. That's where your white womaning did not white woman for you. And all of the tears, the tears and all of those different things did not work for her. All of this, I feared for my life. I was standing my ground and all this other. It didn't work. It didn't work for you, because I'm willing to bet the jury could not. It's one thing, because where I live at, that person needs to cross your threshold. You can't shoot out the door, because you don't know where that bullet. But if they cross that threshold, now you can stand your ground, because they are in your home, and especially if you did not invite them in your home. So she couldn't get past that. There was no reason why she did that, and she uh felt like, oh well, her whiteness should have protected her from that. But no, you're going to jail. Y'all, again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. What do you think of this story? That this case moved quickly through Florida courts. I was surprised, because this Courtney Clenny case is still taking forever and a day, with all the twists and turns and things that has gone on with that case. I was just ready for the actual murder case. All of the laptop stuff, I'm not really interested in that. It's an interesting thing, but I'm not really interested in that. I want to get to the murder trial, and it seems like it's taking Florida a minute to get that done. All right. So this story I wanted to go over, because it fascinated me, because it reminded me of, on a certain level, of Michael Jackson. When I heard this case, that's what it reminded me of. And I got sad, but I still wanted to talk about it, because, you know, we got to do better. And I hope something happens that we do better, particularly with in Hollywood, with these concierge doctors, even if they were or were not. But just the level of fact that doctors, celebrities, have the ability to get certain to me unscrupulous doctors to work with them. So let me see. That's not the story. Where is it? Y'all give me one more moment, because that's not the article I wanted. Here it is. Here we go. All right, let's see if that's what you're looking at. Here we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Matthew Perry's assistant, among five people, including two doctors, charged with the Friend star's death. So let's get into this article. Let's get into this article written by Andrew Dalton and Caitlin Humani. Five people, including his personal assistant. You about to go to jail. And the reason why I thought that this remind me a la Michael Jackson is because you had all those people when Conrad Murray was using the propofol and all this other stuff. You had these doctors willing to do all of this just to be um hold up. Okay, I got the wrong. Here we go. Let me move you over here. You have all these doctors willing to do all of these different things, and it just shocks me. Five people, including his personal assistant, and two doctors, have been charged in connection with Matthew Perry's death, in which prosecutors call a broad underground criminal network. dedicated to getting the Friend star powerful surgical anesthetics that killed him, because Matthew Perry was died of an overdose of ketamine, and he drowned because he was in a hot tub. He had the ketamine, and he fell over and fell asleep, and he drowned, a la Whitney Houston, back in 2012. The doctors preyed on Perry's history of addiction in the final months of his life last year to provide him with ketamines an amount they knew that were dangerous. According to Martin Estrada, they knew what they were doing was wrong. Estrada said they knew that they were doing what they were doing was risking great danger to Mr. Perry, but they did it anyway. One doctor even wrote in the text, "I wonder how much this moron will pay, and let's find out." Oh, and if they uncover any other information that they've done this to any other people, or any other stars, they are cooked. One doctor, Perry died in October due to a ketamine overdose, and prosecutors said he received several injections on the date he died, from his live-in personal assistant, Kenneth Iwimasa, who found Perry dead later that day and was the first to talk to investigators. Ketamine has seen a huge surge in use in recent years as a treatment for depression, anxiety, and pain. While the drug isn't approved for these conditions, doctors are free to prescribe these drugs for so-called off-label uses. They have a lot of little things like, I remember one time, you could take Botox and put it up under your arms if you are a heavy, heavy sweater, and that'll help with people who sweat profusely, and it'll also help with the odors. Um, but anyway, those are just things I know. Perry had been receiving regular ketamine infusion treatments for depression in amounts not nearly enough to account for his death from his regular doctors, who were not among those charged, authorities said. So there apparently is a treatment that they use, and they're saying that the dosages that he was found with were high. And so I was trying to get down here, who are the doctors? Dr. Salvador Placiena, who's charged with 7 counts of distribution of ketamine. He appeared briefly in court, and his attorney asked that the client be allowed to keep seeing patients as is practice when he's released. Well, come on now. Who else was the other doctor? I wanted to get the second doctor, and then we'll get off this story. Jasveen Sangha, who prosecutors described as a drug dealer known to customer as Ketamine Queen. So she's the supplier of the drugs, and she pleaded not guilty as well. So this story to me is unfolding. We will see what is going on with this story, and going on. But this made me sad, because it made me think about that. It made me think about all the young actors that died because of drug overdoses and things like that. But this story made me feel for, for Michael Jackson, in the sense that you have a doctor who is trusted, with the creed, first do no harm. You're packing a client with ketamine, and that's not, he's getting legitimate infusions of it, but you're giving him, ramping up the doses. You're ramping up the doses. You're ramping up the doses. And that's the same thing that reminded me with Conrad Murray. You knew that you were not trained. You were not an anesthesiologist, and you're out here putting that propofol in somebody, and in Michael Jackson, and you were supposed to be there with him to monitor his breathing and all that other stuff, and you didn't do that. And then when the people, when the ambulance and the people were on, you run away. Child, a mess. All right. So we've gotten through those stories. So we're going to get into this next story. I don't even know which article to start. All right. So this is talking about Beau DeMaio. Now, if you're not familiar with Beau DeMaio was the writer, director, showrunner of X-Men 97. So if you are a Marvel fan, you are very clear about what that was. And it was a series to If you watched Saturday morning cartoons like all of us did, regardless of what age you did watch them, you may remember X-Men 97. So this was to be a X-Men, and X-Men not because X-Men the television series lasted from 92 to 96, I think it was. And so X-Men 97 is a continuation of that particular saga. And Beau DeMaio was the head writer, and he was the director showrunner on this series. Series got rave reviews. This is one of those series, another one of those series that the woke police, Tyrone Magnus, uh and others are, we're talking about, because if you're not understanding what the woke police do, they don't like anything coming out of the LGBTQ movement. They don't like anything coming out with black folks and women being lead characters. They don't like any of that kind of stuff. Doesn't matter if the story is good, it doesn't matter if the story is bad. If it's not centering white males, they are not trying to hear what's going on with that. So any of the Marvel characters and things like that, if it's a woman centered show, so if it's a woman superhero character, they're not trying to hear that. They can be sidekicks, but they can't be centered. The only people that the woke police like are for the white male characters to be front and center, and that's it. You can have side kicks and everything. If that is not a story that they see, then they will review bomb it. They will get on the podcast and everything like that and dog the whole show out. And the only thing they'll talk about, it's too woke. It's too woke. They don't like it. It's too woke. Now, there are people who get out here and they talk about, well, the story wasn't didn't do very good with character development. They didn't do anything like that. They don't talk about those two things. If they feel like there's somebody from the LGBTQ community in it, if they feel like the women are being front and center, or if people of color are being front and center, they're not going to want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They're not going to do that. They're not going to support it. They're not going to do any of those things. Okay. So that's who I'm talking about, of the quote unquote woke police. Now they'll try to make it seem like, no, that's not what we're going to do. That's not what we're talking about. So they went from being the woke police. Now everybody is a DEI hire. And basically what they mean by that is, if you're not white male, your stories don't matter. Your stories we don't care anything about your stories. Those stories, are secondary to a superhero's experience. If they're not a white male superhero, those are the only stories that matter. Now they'll say, oh, well, we're just, we like little buddy movies and all this other stuff. And, it's not really that. We're not, doing that. Yes. If it's not white male centered, they're not going to support it. And so what Marvel has come up against is that any of these stories that they've had over the series phase 4 and phase 5 hasn't been their most lucrative, again, because if those stories are not centered around white males, it's not going to do well. And also too, the second thing too, I think phase 4 and phase 5 was too disjointed. You try to introduce too many people, and you're trying to use the multiverse to be able to do all of that, instead of telling either have particular stories or particular movies that are going to be hitting the multiverse, and then have the other movies where it has nothing to do with the multiverse. Every character shouldn't bump up against the multiverse. For me, Spider-Man shouldn't bump up against the multiverse because he's the neighborhood hero. You've got Luke Cage, you've got Jessica Jones, you've got Daredevil, you've got all of these things where there's a lot of stuff going on in their cities. There's a lot of stuff, villains that they could be going back and forth with, that they don't have to be worrying about people who extraterrestrials and people in other worlds and multiverses. You don't really have to worry about that as such. You can definitely just allow those stories to be told. Make sure that they're character driven and be through. Now, I went off on a tangent, and I apologize. So Beau DeMayo had done that. We found out probably a week or 2 weeks before the debut of X-Men 97 on Disney Plus is that Marvel parted ways with him, that he was fired. We saw that he deleted his Instagram, his social media. It was a whole lot of stuff going on. There was a lot of speculation and little rumors going out as to why he was fired. Now, somebody was saying that he was fired because he had an OnlyFans, that someone found the OnlyFans. Well, like he did an OnlyFans, and the way they had put it at that point, excuse me, it's like he just created this OnlyFans. But from what my understanding is, he's had an OnlyFans for probably a couple of years. Apparently, he is a bodybuilder. And so on his OnlyFans, he was showing being a bodybuilder and all this other stuff. Now, I don't know what's on the OnlyFans. I'm only reporting what I've heard other folk say. So it was that one of the things was that. The other thing says that he was um what's the word that they use for other, he was impossible to work with. He was a hard, he was hard hitting and grueling and everything like that, and he was very hard to work with. Now that was the other thing that we had heard, but we didn't hear anything else. Marvel didn't say anything. So when X-Men 97 came out, it was a great time because Beau DeMayo would he would tweet, he would go over like little different little tidbits about the show, encourage you to watch it next week, all of these little different things. And so the show was such a good, it was a good show, and it's a rewatchable show. People were like, "Well, dog, he's done a good job. We know that he has done the first season and the second season." And so we're like, "Well, dog, what's going on? Why hadn't Marvel will hire him back? What's going on?" All these little different things. So pretty much everybody was just, it was pretty much a wait and see to see what's going on. Then we hear that Marvel hired a new writer for the third season. Now, rumor has it that this particular writer is going back into the second season and moving some stuff around and doing other things different. So it's going to be interesting to see how this second season looks. So, why is this story important? So Beau DeMayo, like I said, he is on Twitter. And let me see if I can find his Twitter page really quick. He is on Twitter. And we may be going through it a little disjointed, but I do want to show you. All right. So this is Beau's Twitter. Y'all can see that. That's his Twitter. And he's been tweeting, and he's been tweeting a lot. Now, let me go down. There's him, he is a bodybuilder, all kinds of stuff going on. He's has all this kind of stuff going on. He's just been posing and doing a whole lot of stuff. But I'm trying to get to that picture. It may be just up to the top. So this is where it started. So Black Reel Awards tweeted on the 13th that we're excited to announce that X-Men 97 has won Outstanding Writing and Drama Series for the episode Remember It, written by written by the talented Beau DeMayo. This powerful episode delved deep into the character's past, weaving a compelling and emotional story that enriched the series and left a lasting impact on us. Kudos to Beau, who's husband DeMayo, for creating such a memorable and impactful episode that truly enhanced the X-Men universe. They said that he was winning outstanding writing in a drama series. So won that. And apparently this episode is also up for an Emmy. And so someone asked Beau DeMayo, was he going to the Emmys? They were congratulating him, and he was saying that Marvel hadn't made any arrangements or anything like that for him to be at the Emmy Awards. And so we waited and we waited, and then this is the tweet that I saw first. Let me get back up here, child. He got so much going on. right here. It says, firstly, I'm so grateful to have worked on X-Men 97, collaborating with some amazingly talented folks. Creating this revival was a dream come true, and the support fans have shown is so touching. However, I felt it pressing for me to speak up in the wake of leaving the show. He says, above is X-Men fan art. So a fan made this artwork. Uh, I posted on Instagram for Gay Pride in June. On June 13th, Marvel sent a letter notifying me that they had stripped my season 2 credits due to the post. Sadly, this is the latest in a troubling pattern I suffered through while working on X-Men 97 and Blade. I'll have more to say soon, but must take a step back from social media to find a safer space for me to be out proud and nerdy. Stay tuned. So then things started to get, a little bit that the truth. Here's the next tweet: the truth will be revealed after their Disney Plus disaster. Marvel wants to mislead with alleged contract breaches over tweets. It's a tragic. It's tragic. It's come to this, but unsurprising. Stay tuned. So then we get to the article that this is attached to, but I'm going to come back up and go to this last tweet. He says, this is he did this on August the 15th. This is their Disney Marvel usual playbook. Legal letters as well as other items to prove their long-standing pattern to follow. It is about finding a safe outlet. Thank you. Thanks for your faith and your patience. So we're going to stop sharing this and we're going to share the article that talks about this. Give me one moment. Here we go. It says here, and this is the Hollywood Reporter, written by Aaron Couch and Boris Kitt. It says Marvel fires back. It says Marvel fires back over X-Men 97's creator's claim he was stripped of season 2 credits and cites egregious investigation findings. Exclusive. Uh Beau completed his duties on season 2 prior to his firing in March. 5 months after Marvel Studios fired X-Men creator Beau for mysterious reasons, the writer claimed Thursday that he no longer will get credit on the second season of the hit Disney Plus show, which he completed work on before his exit. DeMaio made the claim on social media, saying it was part of a troubling pattern he endured while working with Marvel. It says here, Marvel shot back soon after in a statement to the Hollywood Reporter, gave insight into his firing, saying it occurred after an internal investigation revealed egregious findings. So, did they have an NDA or something like that going on? Because if there was egregious findings, I think that should have been mentioned. What those egregious findings are. But let's continue. Now they're quoting Beau and we read this, above his X-Men fan art, blah blah blah. Uh, DeMaio, who spent several years at Marvel working on a draft of a long gestating Blade feature as well as on the TV show Moon Knight, added, sadly, this is the latest in the troubling pattern I suffered through while working on Marvel X-Men. Marvel responded by saying that DeMaio's behavior was the cause of his firing and for him losing his credit. It says here, Mr. DeMaio was terminated in March 2024 following an internal investigation. As a Marvel spokesperson in a statement given the egregious nature of the findings, we severed ties with him immediately. He has no further affiliation with Marvel. Sources say that following his exit, an agreement was reached between the two parties over the issues of tweeting about the show, something that DeMaio had continued to occasionally do. In light of the breaches, his credit for season 2 was removed. While no details of the cause of the termination or the internal reviews have surfaced, sources says it involved sexual misconduct. Mm. It says DeMaio did not immediately return a request for comment. It says DeMaio was an avid social media user during his tenure at Marvel, sharing X-Men tidbits as well as a shirtless picture of himself, and even running a non explicit OnlyFans account. This has all led the LGBTQ publication out to declare him the sexiest gay man Marvel writer in the show world. Okay, all right then, because he do be working out, child. On the surface, the notion that Marvel would strip DeMaio of a credit due to a social media post would stretch I can't pronounce that word. As outside observers note, the gay pride illustration is similar to any number of posts he's made while employed at Marvel. And fired Marvel executive Victoria Alonso retained credit on projects she previously worked on following her exit in 2023. But the reveal of an internal investigation points to deeper causes. Well, she was investigated as well because they said that she was working on projects simultaneously, working on non Marvel products simultaneously, or was it Star Wars? Anyway, she was working on projects outside of the Disney family, and they thought that an internal investigation would happen to that, and that was is egregious as to why she was fired as well. Now, y'all Marvel fans, let me know if that was correct, because wasn't there an investigation done, and then they went back to some they were doing back and forth and back and forth with the lawyers to outline what her exit was going to be. Despite the bad press around DeMaio's firing, X-Men 97 went on to be a hit with audience and critics, and earning Marvel Studios its first perfect 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and garnering DeMaio an Emmy nom for the episode Remember It. Okay. So this is this article. So we're not going to read anymore. I want to get to another article. Let's get to the deadline article. It says here Beau DeMaio's lawyer accuses Disney of gaslighting, hints at legal action following dismissal and X-Men 97 credit removal. And this was written by Nelly Andriva. It says the war of words between X-Men 97 creator Beau DeMaio and Marvel has escalated and gone beyond the comic book theme company to engulf its parent Disney. Brian Friedman, who has handled some Hollywood's biggest wrongful termination cases of the past few years, now represents DeMaio. He has issued a blistering statement to Deadline after his client's claim on social media that he had lost his season 2 credits on X-Men 97 over sharing gay pride themed fan art was countered by Marvel's response that he was fired after a misconduct investigation produced findings of an egregious nature. Now, let me see. I think that was in the Variety. Let me get to the Variety one, because let's get to what they said that they fired him for. Let me get to the Variety article first. It says Marvel says X-Men 97 creator Beau DeMaio was fired for egregious misconduct after he alleges Disney stripped credit over gay pride posts. Again, this is written by Adam Berry and Katie Steffens. Marvel Studio has issued an official statement saying that X-Men 97 creator and head writer was fired from the series for egregious misconduct. The studio released statements shortly after DeMaio posted on several social media accounts claiming he was stripped of writing credits. He was terminated in March following an internal investigation. A source with knowledge of the investigation, this is what we need to see, discovered the A source with knowledge of the investigation said evidence was discovered of sexual misconduct and that DeMaio repeatedly violated his termination agreement, which led to his removal of his credit. So that sounds like to me that he was terminated and there was supposed to be there was an agreement made, and that they're saying there was like some kind of NDA agreement or some kind of contractual agreement that, hey, he wasn't supposed to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and they're saying that he violated A, C, and G, and they removed his writing credits. But if he wrote the show, he wrote the show. On Thursday night, DeMeo posted what appears to be an image of himself, shirtless and styled like the mutant superhero Cyclops. Firstly, I'm grateful to have worked on you. I'm not going to continue to read that. Here is the tweet right here. I was thinking that they were going to talk about what the actual egregious nature was. And I wanted to see if I see it in the article before I tell you what I have heard. They didn't have it in this one. But let's get back to the Deadline article. And here where we were. Friedman did not address the specific allegation, but blasted Disney's practices, which he referred as to illegal multiple times. Having much experience with Disney, the playbook is always the same: family friendly on the outside, but secretly attempting to plant illegal, unconscionable items in contract that silence the truth and stop the employee customer from asserting basic constitutional rights. Now, I don't know if you all are familiar with this. It is not funny, but there is a lawsuit that was filed against the Disney resorts. Uh, 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 a man was suing the Disney resorts because his wife uh, died after having an allergic reaction to some of the food that she was eating at a restaurant, when she was uh, specifically told that you know she was allergic to certain things. She was told by her waiter that they would make sure that those certain things were added to her food. They were added to her food, and she died of anaphylactic shock a few hours later. So within this lawsuit, they find out that the family has ordered Disney Plus. And so, because they've ordered Disney Plus, and Disney Plus is part of the Disney whole conglomerate franchise, that they can't sue Disney. They have to take Disney through arbitration. And so that's what they were meaning by to plant illegal, unconscionable item in contracts to silence the truth for this little section right here, for customers from asserting basic constitutional rights. In the past few years, the top lawyer has sued Disney on behalf of such clients as former ESPN broadcaster Sage Steele. As we will explain through detailed examples, which we will roll out in detail one by one, Disney's model is very clear and a repetitive illegal pattern, Friedman continued. Once it gets challenged or exposed, the gaslighting and redirection of the blame toward anyone willing to tell the truth starts through an international, well-oiled publicity machine. As for his client, Beau wants nothing from Marvel Disney except the truth. Friedman said he'll bravely tell the truth, and so will I. He'll stand by that. And so that's the end of this. Now, some of the things that these articles are not saying, because, like I said, this information is rumored. We don't have all the meats and potatoes. I know that there's a lot of posts on X from people who claim that sources say this and sources say that. Uh, it has been rumored. Again, I don't have anything, but it has been rumored, allegedly, that the egregious nature was that he was sending staffers chest list pictures of them to inspire them to write the stories and things like that, or encourage them to get inspiration to write for this X-Men thing. And they also said that allegedly that he apparently groped a young staffer there at Marvel. So this is what they said that were the egregious natures of it all. So I don't know. I'm quite sure within the next few months, because I know the Emmys and stuff, they're all getting ready to roll back around again. I know that we are going to hear a whole lot of different things, particularly if a lawsuit comes up, particularly if more information comes out, or if Disney decides to put more information out. Clearly, we're going to hear some more things. But what do y'all think about this story? I know it's like a ping pong match. It's like, first no one was saying anything, and now Marvel is Beau said one thing, Marvel is saying this thing, all these little different things. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. And I think it's like an onion. We're just going to have to sit back and peel these layers back about what's going on. We have some people who are just like, oh my God, if that's what happened, because if these rumors or these alleged issues are true, baby, you gone. There's just no coming back from that. Because it's an unnecessary thing for you to be doing in your workplace. Sexual harassment, uh, uh, all those different types of harassments in the workplace. That's federal, that's state, that's city, that's county. You can't do that. And so if those allegations and what has happened in those internal investigations, no, baby, you're not gonna come back. And also, if there is a situation where you are in breach of a contract, you may have lost your credits, boo. But like I said, there has nothing been proven. There's nothing down on paper that I can see that I can pull an article and say that this is the information that has come out and this is what's going on. We hadn't seen any of those things. So we're just going to have to sit back and wait and watch this little ping pong match and see what's going on. But what do y'all think about these stories? Jordan Chiles, uh, sadly, she's not going to be listed as the bronze winner in the 2024 Summer Olympics. I hope the U.S. Gymnastics will continue to fight for her to get her thing, because her team did what they needed to do, and things didn't work out. Uh, Miss Susan Lawrence, you in jail. You going to prison, boo. Because you didn't have no business shooting through that door and shooting that woman, and I guess you thought you was gonna get off. Y'all heart it's a sad story with Matthew Perry, knowing that 5 people have been arrested in connection with his death, including his assistant and including 2 doctors and a ketamine queen, the drug queen. That is just sad to hear, and to me that is just these are stories that you continually to hear out of Hollywood, with the stars, and particularly those that have drug issues. What do you all think about this onion of a story with Bo DeMaio? I mean, because it's just like layer and layer and layer and layer and layer just being peeled back, but we still haven't figured out what's really going on. So I assume a lawsuit is pending. I assume, but at this point, I would recommend Bo. Don't do anything. Don't talk about Marvel, any kind of thing about Marvel anymore. Just wait until because they're already telling you that they don't want you to post or do anything. They have you are no longer affiliated with them, and they don't want you to talk about that. That's one thing, because I do want you to get your writing credits back. I do, but unless because if I think what Marvel is doing is the same way that I think that they were doing uh with that whole Kang storyline. They're going to take that whole second season and smack it up, flip it, and do something completely different. And again, once you go there and you do something completely different, it's not going to be the same. And I surely hope that the the care for X-Men 97, as Bo DeMaio had the care for that and it being character driven. I surely hope that this new writer has that kind of care. He has the right to put his little spin on it, but there has to be some care in that in writing for these episodes. All right, people. Again, we do this every week. So please and comment down below to tell me what you think about these stories. Please comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. If you would like to, uh, those are free ways that you can support this channel. If you want to support this channel monetarily, my Cash App is scrolling down the screen. I also have memberships, and I'm not offended by super chats as well. All right. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, boy.